Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. I wanted to pop on here, show you how to use a new resource that I have made for my students, and it is this vocal practice sheet. First things first, I am going to sell you on it. You can find this on my website. You can purchase a whole stack of practice sheets for yourself, but you can also get a fillable PDF form of the same thing that you can reuse over and over and over and over again. You just have to buy it once and you can use it forever. There's my cat. And now that that awkward selling part is over, I want to show you how to use it for yourself. So this is designed to keep you organized while practicing. You're going to learn how to fill in this top section here, which is all about planning, setting intentions, and setting goals. And then also this lower section here, which is all about taking notes and understanding the techniques and the function behind the goals that you're setting. Before we dive into how to fill in the sheet, let's set the scene. I want you to imagine that you are my student and your goal is to belt. Now, every single singer, of course, is different. Everybody has different goals and everybody is starting from a different place and everybody wants to build their voice in different ways. This is just one of many things that you might be interested in learning if you're taking singing lessons or if you're working on your voice in your own time. All right, so I'm going to do some sort of camera magic here so you can see me, but you can also see this vocal practice sheet that I will be filling in. So we're going to set the stage here. Let's say you are a mezzo-soprano singer, and let's say that your goal is to belt in the mixed voice. This is a very specific goal. There's a few different ways that you can belt, a few different technical approaches. So we are setting a really specific goal, and that's a really important thing to do right off the top of any vocal practice. Set a specific goal. And if you're unsure of which goal to set, that's exactly why you go to singing lessons, so that we can help you set your goals. So in this scenario, you are wanting to belt in that heavy mixed voice, or learn to belt in that heavy mixed voice. We're going to start at the bottom half of the vocal practice sheet, just by kind of going over some of the functionality of a heavy mix. So let's actually start in the middle here. We're talking about range. That means we're talking about the vocal registers, the low chest voice, the moderate heavy mix, the slightly lighter light mix, and the very light head voice. We do have this goal already set of singing in the heavy mix. So this is again going to be our focus. I like to set the stage with some tonal expectations. What does the heavy mixed voice sound like? It is a bright sound quality as opposed to the chest voice, the full chest voice, which has a darker tonal quality. We have a certain amount of openness in this sound quality. Excuse spelling, I'm a horrible speller. And by openness, I literally mean a sound quality of resonance, so a fullness in the sound, but I also mean physical openness in the mouth, which we're going to address down here when we actually start talking about resonance. We've also got qualities of pinpointedness in a heavy mix. It's a very precise kind of sound quality, and these are all just sort of adjectives, they're expectations for the sound quality as you aim for a heavy mixed sound. So let's talk about some of the resonance qualities of a heavy mixed sound. Now, first of all, resonance is the shape of the vocal tract when you sing. The shape of the vowels, your mouth, your tongue, the jaw, the back, throat. These are all things that impact timbral quality, but they also impact kind of the balance of your voice and the effectiveness of the register that you're singing in. So there's this really beautiful connection between resonance, vowels, and range and the register that you're singing in. One of the things that I like to start with is what area of vowel to focus on. If we are trying to train a heavy mix, I suggest staying in an open fronted position. That means having your mouth nice and open, but it also means having the tongue sort of fronted in the mouth, and that is going to be close to an ah sound quality. When we talk about the mother vowel, we talk about the vowel that is going to best help your goal of whatever you're trying to accomplish. And ah, sort of maybe a bit more of an eh sound here is very appropriate, but they both kind of live in this open, fronted, or somewhat central area of vowel placement. When we talk about the articulators, we're talking about the lips, the tongue, the jaw, and the soft palate. We're talking about creating a wide lip shape here that is going to reflect the fronted nature of the vowel. Like I said, your tongue is going to be in a fronted position. That's going to set the stage for that bright sound quality. The jaw, almost always, I'm going to say, no matter what the goal here, but we want the jaw to be loose and low, easy as pie, zero tension. The soft palate is going to be in a high or lifted posture here, and the soft palate is right up here. So sometimes we talk about placement or the feeling, the sensation of sound when you're singing, and when we lift that soft palate, we do feel a certain upward kind of resonant sensation where we might feel the sound resonating up on the back roof of the mouth, and that's a sensation that you can look forward to when you're trying to get that heavy mixed sound. You can also expect sensations in the mask of the face. We call this masked singing or a masked placement. Some people, I've definitely heard people also talk about feeling the sound right kind of in the center of their forehead, right between their eyebrows. Another important feature of the heavy mixed voice is looseness, relaxedness, openness, a lack of strain and tension in the neck and the throat area. That's something to be very, very mindful of. If you're doing this kind of work on your own and you experience tightness or strain in the throat, I would recommend stopping and pausing and talking to a professional, somebody who can help you establish some sustainable vocal habits that don't include tension, strain, or tightening. Again, I like to sort of give some adjectives of the sound quality that you can expect as a result of all of these lovely resonance qualities. Again, we've got the bright. I love this. The word bright, brightness and darkness are so descriptive in terms of vocal quality. And we are looking for a bright sound. We're looking for a masked sound. We are looking for something, you can call it a cheeky sound. It's also going to kind of have a bit of a cry baby sound, a wah quality to it. This is twang. So we can also kind of look forward to a bit of a twangy sound. Now, last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the breath management that you can apply to successfully experience a heavy mix. This is going to be a little bit different for everybody. It's really hard to make a video about technique in this really, really broad way because everybody is a little bit different. But generally, when your goal is to sing in a heavy mix, we are using these beautiful bright and fronted vowels. We want to focus on breathing abdominally. This is a diaphragmatic breath. This is a diaphragmatic inhale and a diaphragmatic use of breath. And that's a really, really good starting place. Excuse me. That's a really good starting place when thinking about your breath, your setup, your support for a heavy mixed voice sound. The onset is that first moment of vocal sound, a really hard onset, doesn't have a lot of airflow in it, very soft. Onset is sort of like an H. It releases air very, very quickly. We want to sort of think about creating balance more often than not, but when we're talking about belting and creating vocal power, we always sort of want to lean hard. We don't want to create so much hardness in our onset that we create a real glottal attack, nothing quite like that, but we want to create vocal clarity, and we can do that by practicing a hard onset. Hard onset sounds are like B's and P's. These plosive sounds create a nice hard onset experience, and so that's a really great way to practice harder onsetting. When we talk about vocal support, phonation, actually singing and actually supporting our sound with breath, I use this breathy pressed spectrum, as many, many vocal coaches do. A breathy sound is very, very breathy. That makes sense. A pressed sound is very, very tight and does not contain a whole lot of airflow. Now, again, we want to be living in balance. Balance is always better. Balance is always easier and more sustainable. But again, because we want power, we want clarity, we want volume, we do want to lean into what I call powerful support. So powerful support is a little bit closer to pressed, but not so far down that we are experiencing tightness and strain in the voice. And again, this is something that we would go into more detail in a one-on-one lesson, but for now, using that concept of an abdominal inhalation, a slightly harder onset, and powerful support, that's really going to help you establish a good relationship with a heavy mixed voice belt. Again, texture. Texture is a word I use to describe the sound quality of breath elements in singing. We are looking for a clear sound. We do not want a breathy sound here at all. We want clarity. We are looking for volume here. We are looking for power. We are looking for boominess even. You can use a lot of different adjectives to describe texture all across the breathy pressed spectrum, but these are sort of the sound qualities that you can expect from a powerful, heavy mixed voice sound. So there we go. We have established what to expect out of a heavy mixed voice vocal practice. Now let's actually make a plan. So every vocal practice has three important parts. There's a warm-up where you get your voice ready for singing. There's an exercise where you actually build your vocal skill and strength. And then you do your song work, which is, of course, singing the song that helps you reach your goals. Warm-ups don't have to be super specific to your practice. You can warm up in any way, but it does it helps to, again, set the stage for what your goals and intentions are. Every good warm-up has a breath element, it has a range element, and it's going to have a resonance element, right? It's all here. Your breathing, of course, we talked about abdominal breathing, so that diaphragmatic breathing. Now, I would be assigning you a scale likely from my website. I have these scales called long scales on my website, LizzyClarkeSingingLessons.ca, which you can go and access for free. And let's say you are a mezzo-soprano, so you would be doing the mezzo-soprano warm-up long scale, and you would be breathing abdominally with each round of the scale. The sound is what you would be doing while warming up. So are you doing this sound on a la 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 la? Are you doing a brrr? Are you doing a whoa 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 whoa? Different sounds, different vowels, different consonants do impact the voice differently. So it is important to choose a vowel that's going to be productive for you. I'm a big fan of warming up on a lip trill. No matter what the goal is, it's just always good. So I would recommend warming up on a lip trill. And if you have the time, if you have time for a nice long practice, I would recommend doing this scale twice. The second time doing a B sound. So you'd be singing the first time through the scale and B B B B B B B B B B B B the second time. I think that would be a really nice warm up when you're setting the stage for that heavy mixed voice sound. Next, we get into the exercise. And again, we want to make sure that we're setting an intention. So we do have that heavy mixed voice sound. That is the intention. That is what we are shooting for today. And of course, we've got all of these details down here already in terms of our breath intention, in terms of our range intention, and in terms of our resonance intention. So we're just going to be referring down here when we talk about our intention for this particular exercise. Again, I've got scales on my website. If you're my student, we might record a personalized scale for practice, but I do have a mix belt scale on my website, and you'd find that again in your voice type, in your particular range, whatever works for you, mezzo, soprano, alto, baritone, tenor, whatever it is. Now here, this is very important. Choosing a good sound to reflect your range goals, that's everything. So that comes back to our resonance over here. Come back to our mother vowels. It's going to be that or that sound, which is a little bit more nasal, a little bit more twang. I'm going to go with this sound. So I like to think of the French word bain in this case. It's got that masky quality to it, that cry, that twang, wah, 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 bang, bang, bang. It lives up here, and that's just going to really help. So the whole scale itself is going to sound something like bang, 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 bang. That's the scale that you would find online. That's the sound you would use, and that's what that scale would ultimately sound like. Now, again, if you're doing this on your own without a teacher and you experience strain, tension, tightness, discomfort, stop. That is a sign of miscoordination, and you should be talking to a professional, or you should be just setting other goals that don't create that kind of discomfort for you, and maybe leave that particular advanced goal for another day. When we think about that intention, again, just going back to intention for a second, we want to include vocal ease. We want to make sure that we have an experience that is as close to effortless as possible. So if you are experiencing a ton of effort, if this is very, very hard, again, that is a sign of some sort of miscoordination, and that would be, I would suggest pausing, reaching out to somebody, or choosing a different goal. When we talk about song work within a vocal practice like this, we obviously want the song work to reflect our goals here. So you want to choose a song that allows you to do the thing that you're trying to do. I have a student recently who was trying to do the song Let It Go, and in that climactic final chorus, the storm rage on, the goal was to create a mixed voice belt in that moment. So we've got that storm rage on moment, and that on really is kind of the quintessential part of this entire practice, making sure that we can do that successfully. Choosing a song that allows you to practice your goal, a really, really, really important part of the entire vocal practice experience. Last but not least, it's a really nice thing to plan out your accompaniment. Are you going to be singing a cappella? Are you going to be singing along to the original artist? Do you have a karaoke track? Are you doing this in the original key? Let's say, for the sake of this example, that you can just pull up a karaoke on YouTube and do this in the original key. That's very, very easy and a really, really nice way of practicing any song. In fact, it's the way I recommend. If it's easy, I think it's a really great thing to do. So there you go. That is a standard vocal practice. A very specific goal has been set in terms of range. Now, you don't always have to start with range when it comes to setting your goals. Sometimes we have breath goals, other times we have resonance goals. You can really start anywhere. This is just one example. So there we have it. We have a finished vocal practice. Now, you can go to my website and purchase a whole pad of these for yourself so that you can make your own vocal practice. I also have for sale a fillable PDF form that you can use over and over and over again. So you just buy it once and then it's yours forever. If you're one of my students, this is something that I will be filling out for you from now on, if that makes sense within our vocal practice. Again, everybody's different. This is going to work for some people. It's not going to work for other people. But that's it. That is it. I hope that all made sense. I hope you enjoyed the ride along with me. I hope you have a very beautiful day. I hope you have so much fun singing today. Happy practicing. I will see you next time.